and welcome to the show. Today, I'm confused, but it's a weird way to start a video. I'm conflicted about this game that I'm going to be playing. This is Drive Rally. It is a game that I would really like to like, but I can't quite. Yeah, it's an arcade rally game. Now, that is normally a pretty good start for me. I enjoy rallying, I enjoy a good arcade game, and so on. And, you know, I do very much enjoy the art style. No, there we go, we've got controls back. My controller's been playing up a little bit. Now, I love the vehicles that they've got going on here. They are vaguely based. You can play the fun guessing game of try and figure out what they are based on. Like the purple one is a bit of a Focus going on, and the white one is a bit of a Celica, and the one at the front is a bit of a, I was going to say a Countach-ish, quite heavily modified. I mean, there's a Lada Niva, I want to say, looking thing. What am I showing you there? I can just go into free roam and look at cars here. Be a much easier way of doing things. All vehicles have got 3 stages. You start off with like the basic one, normally rear-wheel drive and a bit low, or normally two-wheel drive and low on power, and then you go up to higher tiers ones, and they get faster and faster. Well, there we go. This one here is the one I've got all the way through. You get the idea. Start front-wheel drive, go up to four-wheel drive and lowish power, and then you go up to almost Group B spec, essentially. And they're cool. I do like the selection. There's some fun things. There we go. There's a Megane, which is always good to see going on. There's a little Renault 5, and then it'll get silly fast, and so on and so forth. So it's a fun. Oh, and you can make them bounce around. Hold on. How high can I make a Beetle bounce? How did I get you to bounce before? Hey, there we go. You can bounce cars around in the menus, yes. I mean, you get these little Alpine A110 that can get monstrous. It's cool. The vehicles are very cool, and they look very cool. The problem is that they kind of... I say they all fall apart when we go driving. Have I actually driven through some of these? Sure, let's just go and jump into a bit of a career mode. Now, so we have got the Celica alike going on for us here. The problem is that the handling it's not horrific, but it just does not quite feel right. It doesn't quite. There is way too much grip. So while the cars look cool and there is some fun inclusions and so on, and the environments, the stages that I've done have all been pretty fun, it is a stylized art style, if you like, and I appreciate that might not be for everyone and so on. I do generally like games that go for this. The stages themselves are pretty interesting on the most part, all the ones I've gone through so far, and they're challenging enough. Well, they would be if it wasn't for the cars have just got unlimited grip. We are on dirt here, and I can chuck this car, and it's just impossible to slide them. Now, I appreciate, in general, when I am driving, I don't have oversteer. I don't generally like oversteer. I don't generally drive cars in that manner, and I do not like my cars moving around particularly. That's just my driving style. However, there's so much grip to the point of almost non-challenge. There's just absolutely staggering amounts of grip, which makes what could be quite fun stages, what could be quite interesting stages, feel a little bit boring, essentially. Because, yeah, you will have to brake for corner. I'm not saying you're going to be flat out through the entire thing, and if you are going to try and chase leaderboard times and so on, yeah, absolutely, carrying speed through some of these corners, you're going to have to slow down occasionally, but even there, like I went into that corner miles too hot, still can't get the car to move around, and on dirt, and in a rally game, that's kind of part of the point. You're supposed to be... You're definitely not supposed to have this much grip. And it just takes... Everything else that they're trying to do with the game kind of falls apart a little bit when the driving portion doesn't quite work. And now they have tried... Again, this is one of the... I can see a lot of effort has gone into this one to try and make it fun and everything, and I do appreciate, they've tried to have a little bit more characterful co-drivers. You can turn them off to just give you straight up pace notes if you want, which is fine. I've sort of flitted between the two of them. There's definitely effort to try and give the game some character, and it just falls apart because the cars just don't quite drive. It's just infinite grip, almost. It's as close to infinite grip as I have ever come across in a rally game. And it's a really, really big shame, because I feel like if you could reduce a lot of the grip. Now, this car here, so the reason why I'm starting off with this one here is this is like a tier 1 car, if you like. So this is the sort of the slowest car that you will deal with. When you start getting to the faster cars, it gets, I say, a little bit better. You're just going an awful lot faster with the vehicles, which does make it more of a challenge, because you're going to have to be braking, I say more, but you've still got astronomical levels of grip. Difficulty-wise, outside of like the physical driving aspect, the AI's a little bit erratic on terms of the time that you are aiming for. I have this on the hard mode. Some stages are pretty close, some stages I'm winning by 30 seconds, and I mean, I think I did one stage that was about 3 minutes long. Majority are relatively short, so yeah, the AIs are not really fast enough to put up a big enough challenge in this. I can get away with absolutely throwing the car through these corners because you've got so much grip, and it's 11 seconds up in a minute on the hardest difficulty. It's definitely not tough enough with this kind of handling model. It frustrates me because I can see there's a lot of potential here. That's just not quite realised. So here we go. We have unlocked the Lamborghini-alike thing here. So yeah, that was a tier 1 car. Now if we go over here, I think we'll be onto a tier 3 car for this one. I think we will. Yeah, I think we're on an XR rally. I'm going to load this up and see what car we get. Okay, so we've got the mad little Civic-alike thing. This thing is considerably madder, and this thing is, as you can see, considerably faster. It is going to be a lot quicker. You will have to be a little bit careful. The brakes are astonishingly powerful as well on these. But you don't really feel much difference from the car being two-wheel drive or being all-wheel drive. Doesn't really make a difference. Occasionally, the only real sign of wheel spin is under acceleration. Occasionally the two-wheel drive car, weirdly it'll be on tarmac, is you will get them spinning the wheels and creating plumes of smoke. That's kind of the only indication that the cars are spinning the wheels. Oh, when you start getting up to this speed, yeah, it is more fun. Oh, but it's still, again, we're now 4 seconds up within 50 seconds. I appreciate, sure, I probably have more experience on racing games than a lot of the general public and everything. I'm certainly not the best in the world. And yeah, there's just not quite the challenge. There's also no damage, as far as I can tell, on the cars. There's no repair halts or anything like that along the way. There's no real problem if you do go and bounce the car outside of losing time on the stage. There's no real problem with bouncing your car off every wall that you see. You can get away with running through these railing things, barriers, kind of. You can take a lot of shortcuts through that. I mean, if you're going for really quick stage times, you're probably going to be cutting just about every corner. Again, there's no corner cutting penalty. You go too far off the course, it will reset you. Again, this is a fun route. It's a fun stage, the environments are cool, the roads are narrow and technical in places, and would be a good challenge with a different handling model. As it is, it's just too easy. You see here, we're just full aggression on this one, and what is essentially a mad Group B car. This is way too much power, and a tiny, light little car, far too easy. Far too easy to keep under control. By the looks of it, this is one of the longer stages in the game. Whoop, we will. It's just on the brakes for a tiny point. Got a little too brave through there, and yeah, we suddenly get away with everything. I mean, it's definitely better as we get faster, but again, you can see we won by a considerable margin, and that was far from a particularly good run through that one. The other problem, the other little problem, the career structure is a little bit odd. So you go through here and you kind of gradually, so I think each like country, each section has 3 basic vehicles, if you like, that you will go through. So you'll do championships, you'll do sort of 3 races with each of them, and then you'll go up to the next one. So here, for example, by the looks of it, we're on to driving a truck. Sure. Why not? We'll do 3 races with the truck. You'll do 3 races, and then you'll go up to like the faster version of the truck, and then you'll go up to the final, the sort of tier 3 version of the truck, and that's okay. There are various parts to unlock for the vehicles. There are sort of like custom bonnets and bumpers and so on, and you will unlock them as you. I think at the end of each race, you will unlock a new part for the car, but you're only using the car really for 3 stages, and then you're on to a new one. You can use the custom ones in like a time trial, but that's kind of about it. I'm not really sure about the replayability of the sort of career mode particularly. I feel like a career mode where you start off with, so there is currency, there is money involved in this, and I feel like a career mode where you have to pick your, oh dear, I've had an accident. Oh, I think I might have beached myself. We have actually beached ourselves on that one. Wait, no, there is a recovery button. There we go. Like a career mode in which you had to start off with a tier 1 car and use your money to to buy one of them. Pick whether you want this truck or whether you wanted the Renault 5 or what it is, and use it, might have actually served this game a little bit better than the way that it's gone. I appreciate this is a much more old school way of doing a career mode, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Every single game has a currency system. I don't know why this one bothered with it though, because you're not really going to be able to utilise any of the unlocks and any of that stuff for the vehicles particularly, because you're just not going to use them. Like, I'm going to get this, we've got a variation on the front bumper. Cool. We're using this for 2 more races and then it's done. And then I'm probably never going back to this one particularly. It's just, yeah, feels like a little bit of an odd way of doing things. It is a shame, as I said, because I think some effort has gone in to try and make a characterful, colourful arcade rally game, which I very much appreciate. There are just two I say very, very glaring issues, and they're pretty major ones. The handling is just not. I say it's not entertaining enough. I was almost tempted to say it's not challenging enough. Well, apparently the AI are much faster on this route than they were on the previous one. Again, bear in mind, I have not changed the difficulty. As you have seen, we have gone through the loading screens, and I have not changed anything. They are definitely faster, or I am terrible with the truck for some reason. Because this one here is actually now we're having to pay attention. This is the first time I think I've had an actual close stage where something like running a little wide there might matter. We will go to, I say, slightly more extremes. Maybe we need 3rd gear through here. Not sure. Feel like 3rd gear wouldn't quite work either. This one here might be quite close. Can we straight line that? Oh, that was very close to the right. Oh, we ended up second. That was a little bit more like that was a properly close stage. That is the first properly close stage I have come across while doing this. I was hoping to, I say, waltz my way to the front. We're going to have to make up an immense amount of time on this one if we're going to win this, like, little championship part. But yeah, the combination of a handling model that I can see what they're going for with it to a point, but it's just not suitable for a rally game. I don't think it works for a rally game because it just makes everything too samey, and it makes everything too bland. I think you might get away with a handling model like this in a you know, circuit racer if you've got, you know, lots of cars around you you could be having wheel-to-wheel battles with and that kind of thing. But in a rally game, it's kind of you against the environment, and having a handling model this easy, this much grip, just doesn't quite do it. It doesn't convey that. And you combine that with the lack of risk, the lack of damage, the lack of, I mean, you know, you can crash and you'll lose time, but that's not sort of it. Yeah, it misses the mark, essentially. And the career mode structure doesn't particularly help. And there's a decent amount to the career mode in terms of stages. Like, as I said, the stages are fun, but the stages could be fun, I think, is the better way to sum it up. And I mean, I'm certainly no expert. I don't know how difficult it's probably quite difficult to rework everything. But like having say like a lower grip mode or having a different handling model, maybe have an arcade mode where you can have super grippy cars for some people to enjoy. But yeah, the career mode structure really does not particularly help it either. You know, you can't really make the most of these. You know, what are quite cool cars, which is what initially drew me into this game, is it's some quite cool vehicles around the place. Some quite cool, you know, like vehicle models and all of that kind of thing, and some cool environments. And this one here's clearly got a 205 going on. What are we driving next? You know what? Screw it. We'll just load it up and we'll see. Oh, we have got. I think that says brick on the back of it. I presume this is a Volvo alike. I can't. I don't think I have a look back button on this one. You do have a sort of a semi-top-down camera if you want to go for a really old-school arcadey rally game, or you can just drive from inside. Yeah, it's a frustrating game because it's very close, but it is not quite there. Typically, I say it's easy, and then I've actually found weirdly, maybe because I'm commentating, I don't know, but. We have not been. I was winning a lot bigger margins before I started filming this one. Yeah, it's a difficult one. There was a demo for this floating around. I'm not sure if it's still about. If you are unsure, if you want to go and have a go yourself, because I would love to be able to recommend this one. I really would, but at the moment I just can't. I just can't quite, and it's a bit of a shame, really, on that one. If it was an early access game, I believe this is the full release of the game. If it was an early access game again, then you could definitely say there's a lot of potential. I still feel like there's a lot of potential, but it does potentially. It needs for me to be able to, you know, highly recommend this one. It definitely needs some tweaks. Oh, I thought that went the other way because I was waffling and not paying attention to the to the pace notes or anything. So yeah. Oh, it is a little bit of a shame on this one. Oh no! And I have now binned it. I have not done an amazing job of driving, that's for sure. Oh, that's right before the finish line as well. They were being a little bit too brave on that one. Yeah, that is my thoughts. That is my thoughts on this one. If you like the game, fantastic. You know, more power to you and all of that kind of thing. As I said, I love the art style. I like the cars and everything, but I would like to see it with a changed up handling model and yeah, have a little bit more life to the actual racing. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.